Hey guys, welcome back to another product profile, again on the south shore of Long Island. We're at a beautiful field which has a nice runway, perfect for the product profile of the version 2 of the new Durafly T-28 Trojan. Obviously it comes in a nice scale yellow scheme this time, and it's got a few nice minor upgrades. You have a bigger motor, so we're only running this thing on 4S this time, and you got a beautiful little dive brake feature that we'll show you in a little bit. But as all product profiles go, we'll start out with the flight. You're gonna get a full flight. We got a camera on the sticks for our pilot, Alex Davis. He's gonna put it up, put it through everything that it can do, some aerobatics, show you how fast it can go, show you those nice slow passes. Then we'll take it back to the studio. We'll do a full unboxing, so we'll show you what is included with the box, and then we'll take it through step by step on how we built it. So let's get started with the flight. All right, taking off. Runway, full flap. Right off. Then we got about 10-mile-an-hour gusts today, but nice and clear. Coming for that fast pass. Nice. She gets right up there. Stall turn. Coming for a show pass. Aerobatics, so might as well try a roll on the next way around. You gonna use rudder?
A little bit.
Rudder. Nice. Yeah, this plane's gonna do everything you want it to do.
Nice loop.
Coming in for the big loop. How about we do a dirty pass on the next one?
Yep.
Really shows up nicely in the sky on a sunny day. Here comes a dirty pass. Look how slow she goes. Nice. You could run faster than that. Now we got a 2200 4S graphene. This Trojan is made for the 4S pack. It's a bigger motor. Doing now? Low pass? We'll come back and we'll show some inverted flight.
Alright.
Runway works so well for the low passes. Alright, inverted. Guys, as always, we got the camera on his sticks, pilot sticks, so you guys can see what he's doing. Help you guys out. It's coming downwind, upwind. Nice, with the landing gear out. Nice.
I'm gonna do a pass and drop the gear in front of us.
All right. Show you those retracts. Nice. Back up. Perfect. Now, Alex, you were doing some moves before that you wouldn't normally see a Trojan do.
We could do some of those.
Want to give some of those again?
Yeah.
This is what happens when you give a Trojan to a 3D pilot. That's amazing. Now we're going to dare him to do an FPV. Nice. Look at the power to get right back up into the sky. See, we've been up a good little while here with the 2200 4S. We're getting some good flight times. Flat splits. Can't see how owners of the V1 aren't going to flip for the V2. Knife edge. How's the pack feel?
Good, we're gonna do one more pass and then come for a landing.
All right. You heard the man. Four-point roll.
Drop the flaps in front of us.
Flaps, dive brake. All right, coming in for a landing. Nice and easy. Thank you, Alex Davis. Can't beat that. All right, guys, we're back in the studio. You see, we got the Trojan that we just flew, and we got a brand new unboxed Durafly T-28 version 2 Trojan. Beautiful box art here. I always love our box art and our packaging, especially on the Durafly models. They really go hard on them. But what we're gonna do now is, now that the flying is over, you saw all that, let's get into the specs, let's get into a build and an unboxing. So we're gonna start with the unboxing, so let's get going. All right, guys, you just saw us pull everything out of the box, and here it is. Not too much included, so it should be a pretty quick build as far as plug and plays go. So again, when you get it out of the box, what you should expect to see, what should come with it, obviously you're gonna have your fuselage, you're gonna have your beautiful wing section, and then your two elevator sections, and that's the only parts of the plane that are here. The rest are going to be all your assembly pieces, so your control rods, horns, screws. You have your 10x6 propeller, and you have that FPV mount, which goes right into the canopy here. We'll show you that a little later on when we build it. So again, not too much to see as far as pulling it out of the box. It came really well packaged. I see no nicks and dents. Yours, you should expect the same too. And now before we start building the model, let's just talk over the spec. So again, we have an 1100mm wingspan on this model, same as the version 1. This is now running an entirely 4S setup, so no more 3S's with your Trojan like the original V1. This is exclusively 4S, so you have a 45 amp ESC included. We have a 35, 36, 750 kV motor up front. That is swinging a 10x6, again, scale propeller, which is nice. Some of the additional features that we added to this Trojan just to make it more scale, you'll see it right away on the wing. That is your dive brake servo for the included dive brake, which we'll show you when we set it up in a little bit. But again, you get those beautiful scale sort of carrier approaches when you're landing and stuff like that. And also just when you're flying with the flaps, this baby flies really slow as you saw, and the dive brake only added to that. Coming over the fuselage, one of the things that's definitely different from the original V1 is they've moved the servo for the elevator to the back of the fuselage. So you're definitely going to get more strength and more ability to throw and more easier access if you need to make adjustments to your elevator, which is nice. And then upon opening it up, as you'll see, with the original V1 and with any Trojan, you do get a lot of canopy space. You get a lot of space to work with, but they definitely didn't take away any of the support. They added more supports into the fuselage. They have the 2 carbon rods, as you can see here. All right, guys, so the first step upon building your Durafly Trojan, and with any Durafly model, with any plane we sell, we've always said in the past, what you want to do is flex all your control surfaces. Make sure you work in that foam a little bit, not too hard, you don't want to break it, but they're very stiff at the beginning. So before you attach your control rods, your horns, before you set it up, you definitely want to do that first, because it'll definitely tug on the servo if you don't do that. So after you've done that, moving on to step 2, what you're going to do now is attach all your control rods and horns. You will see that they are labeled very nicely: flap, aileron, rudder, elevator, so you won't get confused as to which is which. So I'm going to get all that done here. We're just going to show you a little bit of B-roll, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I'll be back when I'm done. All right, guys, the end of step 2, we just finished putting on the control horns and rods. I didn't yet attach any of the clemences to the control horns yet, because I like to center my servos before I do all that, before I put the plane together. So you can do this afterwards, but it just makes it a little easier if you have a servo tester. And one of the things you want to do, guys, when you do assemble this, you want to center your servos on your rudder, your elevator, and your ailerons, but don't center the servos on the flaps. You want those pushed all the way forward, because if you center them, you're not going to get the full throw, and then you're going to have to change that later. So it's something you can just do now before you move on. All right, guys, after you get all your rods and horns all set up, servo centered, that's the end of step 2. And moving right to step 3, we'll be assembling your tail, getting the elevator attached to the fuselage. And this is the only part where any gluing would be needed, just a little bit on both elevator pieces to secure it into place, and we used a little extra thick CA. Step 4, guys, is just going to be assembling the main wing. You just got to realize there are 2 holes to get your leads through. So you have the main large hole that's going to put the majority of your cluster here. That's your ailerons, your flaps, your LEDs, and your landing gear. And then the brake has its own little tiny hole and a little cutout on the foam, if you see there, for where that servo is going to fit to. So when you pop it on, what you want to do, you can tape the whole mess up together, but if you just pull them through nicely, and then you just insert the last one, the brake, right through, then you can catch it on the other side over here, and then you can just work it through on your own very easily. Slight little tug. Nice. Then you're in. So now that's there, and then there are just 4 screws to attach the wing to the fuselage, and just realize they come in the same box, but one is 2 are 55 millimeter and 2 are 50 millimeter. So I didn't realize it when I was about to screw them. Like, these screws don't fit, but the 2 longer ones will go to the front, and the shorter ones will attach in the back. Much easier. All right, guys, so 4 steps is basically the assembly portion of the Durafly T-28 Trojan here. The last step would be to attach your propeller, as far as physically speaking. But now we're going to get into setting up your receiver. Now, we're not going to go through the whole bind process and everything like that. You just have to know that you're going to need at least an 8-channel receiver if you want to get all these functions without the pan and tilt and the FPV portion working correctly. Because on the Trojan model, obviously you have your throttle, you have your aileron channel, you have your elevator, you have your rudder, you have one for your LEDs, you're going to have your landing gear, you're going to have the dive brake, and you're going to have your flaps. So right there is 8 channels to get everything going. And then if you wanted to add pan and tilt, you would need 2 more channels to do that for the pan and the tilt, or you can mix things in. We had the dive brake mixed with the flaps on the same channel, just to free up some space for the FPV plugins. Obviously, it's going to come up to whatever you're using to get this bad boy in the sky, but that's just one of the options we did. But just to fly it line of sight as is, you'll definitely want an 8-channel to get every feature. You can get away with 6 channels if you didn't want to plug in the LEDs or the dive brake for whatever reason, but for the most part, you want an 8-channel receiver. All right, guys, so taking a look inside, this is the one we already have built up. Again, you see the receiver fits nicely off to the side, more than enough space for anything you want to throw in this model. This one's, again, already been bound up and flown. This is the one we just flew for you guys. All right, guys, so as far as the FPV setup goes, you've seen it now on the product video. You've seen it on our product profile, and we're showing it now. Obviously, that's just going to add an extra element, and it's an optional, just another option that we've added to this model for your enjoyment. FPV is a big thing, and a lot of the models we're going to do is going to include some sort of element like this mount so that you can get going with FPV. Something about warbirds and being FPV is just a great thing to see and always fun to do. We had it set up for the product video on a head tracking. When we were flying it for the product profile, we had them on switches on our radio, so you could do it anyway, and numerous options. Our mount fits a Fat Shark pan and tilt perfectly, but again, almost any 9-gram servo is going to fit right in that little slot, and you could do whatever you want. You could just put a stationary fixed FPV camera in this canopy, and you're going to still get a great experience, get a great view. It's just the ability to look left, look right, however you do it, just adds an extra, almost like another dimension to your FPV flying. So let me just show you real quick. I'm gonna plug in our already built up model and just show you that dive brake and all that, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up. So once you have it bound up, you'll see the retracts working very well. They go in and out with ease using our spring technology. There's no extra servo in there to open up the doors and whatnot. That just happens on its own. Then also the dive brake function, another beautiful little feature that you're going to get with this plane. You see it working there. It works really well. We set it up with our flaps just so we can get the pan and tilt working all on the same 8-channel receiver. And also the nose gear is also steerable as well. So you see that. That's attached to the rudder function, so it definitely helps when you're trying to take off. You should have no problem with this thing. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this product profile on the Durafly Trojan V2. We're really excited to get this out to you. That beautiful yellow Marine Corps scheme, authentic, looks really nice in the sky, and it's a good flyer. We plan on taking these two now, once they're all set up, once this one is, we're going to take these two out and do one of those FPV warbirds. Another episode, we're going to put these in a situation that they might have been in and have a little fun there. So guys, that'll wrap it up. Stay tuned. We'll have more product profiles coming. Make sure to like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere on social media. And again, if you want to make sure you get our latest videos, you have to click the bell on YouTube now to make sure you get an alert when we post a new video. That's a new feature there on YouTube, so make sure you are doing that. And guys, we'll see you next time.